Welcome to the Lost in Orbit podcast. I'm Dustin.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Squiggs.
And
third time's a charm.
Yeah, third time's a charm. We don't talk about that though. That's it's behind the scenes.
It's behind the scenes.
Those are insider secrets. But we have a wonderful show planned for you today. Have a lot to talk about. It's been a week since we've had our last podcast, right? It's been a week. I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah, we missed a week. A lot going on. Which some of that will be explained in this podcast. But to start it off, let's start with our audience question, which is coming from the one and only Super on Discord. And he asked, what game have you played that has the best story? Which one I know Squiggs has an answer prepared for this, so we'll start with him.
All right.
I was prepared for show and tell. This is just something from my childhood. It's Skies of Arcadia. If you like Final Fantasy games, you'll love it because it's RPG and there's so much to it. There's so many characters that you can have in your team or squad, and it's just it has a great story to it too.
I'm assuming it's all turn-based.
Yes, all turn-based combat. There's ship battles. There are regular people versus people battles. There's like special moves and everything. I think it was before its time.
Really?
It's an amazing
It sounds
game.
it.
Yeah. That's your number one story?
Yeah.
Really?
It's probably most of it based on nostalgia.
I feel you with that.
But I'm not too into story games, honestly, too much.
Yeah.
Fair point. Could you give us a synopsis of the story without as many spoilers?
Yeah, it's just it's this young pirate named Vice. Oh yeah, this is another big part of it. It's all in the sky. So
you said like, ship battles, and I was like,
yeah, there is water, but anything that would normally be water is all sky. So you can there's a place where you can like go down to the ground, but you need a special ship, and it's way into the game that you have to get the special ship, and you can only go down into like special areas because and this is where I forget part of the story. Something happened where you just can't go down to the surface anymore, really. But yeah, it's and like people fall off of islands all the time, all the way. Like, yeah.
What's the goal? Like
there's
like treasure hunting or
yeah, a part of it. I mean, you're a pirate and you're up against the big armada, and you have your own little pirate island. And it's kind of reminiscent of like One Piece in that it's like pirates are considered good and the armada or the government is considered bad. Yeah. And it's like so you go off and like you start doing your own little mission, and then while you are gone, your dad, who runs the whole pirate island, you come back and the pirate island's been destroyed by the armada, and your dad's been taken captive, and that's where the story starts. And kind of like you trying to take them down and everything.
Yeah. Brian,
it's pretty neat, actually.
It's pretty basic. It's kind of a basic like setup story, but it gets really good.
Before we transition, Brian,
there's a goal, there's a quest that always makes a good story.
Yeah.
And that's why I would. All right, what do you want, Dustin?
I was gonna ask him how long
it
was.
Want?
He said, "What do you want?"
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why I relate it to Final Fantasy. I'm keep looking at the box art because I'm remembering it. It's
what was the name of the game? Sorry,
Skies of Arcadia.
I would say 30-40 hours, maybe.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. It's typically JR. Is it like so? It's like JRPG-ish.
It's like JRPG-ish. I don't think there's too much. Go on.
How many hours did you say, Dustin?
30 or 40.
Oh, 46.
Yeah. Those games are typically
according to how long to beat.
Yeah. It's pretty good. And that's the normal playthrough. That's not even like getting all the stuff or anything.
Main story.
What's 100%? Like
completionist is 55.
Oh, really? It's not too bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's not too much like side stuff to like go out and do. There's a lot of little areas inside the main areas. That's
typically games like that. There's like 100-hour difference between like regular and completionist. But how about you, Brian? Best story ever.
So
Overwatch.
Yeah, the fact. Yeah. Well, Overwatch is great. Trust me, but I wouldn't consider it a story game. Yeah. Like Overwatch, like I love the story, I love the premise, but it's not part of the game necessarily. The game is not canon. Is what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay.
The events that happen in game are not canon to the actual story, which is why I wouldn't answer Overwatch. That being said, a very basic premise that is sort of well played upon, like Squiggs was saying, is in BioShock Infinite. I really like the story of that game. That being said, I haven't played BioShock 1 or BioShock 2 all the way through. I started the series with Infinite, but I really enjoyed that game. It's a simple concept. Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt, and you're just like, all right, that's my job. And then adventure ensues, chaos, and you learn. I think they feed you information very well throughout that game.
Definitely.
Like it's like little tidbits of, okay, so this is also happening, and well, there's this part of the world that you haven't seen yet, but it exists, so you should, and then you learn it. It's good. I feel like it's consistently good. However, it does have a couple slow points, but they make sense if you think about them in the grand scheme of the whole story.
Yeah,
I like Infinite.
The thing about that game is, I had called the major twists in it.
Yeah,
and it bothers me that I can't remember. There, like you said, feeding information. There was some information that was fed to me that I was like, where I drew one of the connections, and I cannot remember for the life of me. Maybe if I replayed it, I'd pick up where it was again. That I drew one of the connections, but there's one of the, I guess, major plot points that it's fed to you pretty early on, that if you put 2 and 2 together, you would know what's going on a little bit. But it's something that you just kind of wouldn't. I don't know. It's kind of more difficult to put together, but it's pretty obvious once you learn what it is.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think I would agree with that as well.
But they like you said, they do an excellent job of basically feeding you information in that game. And there's a lot of hints to what's going on, but if you don't listen or put it together, you're gonna be surprised. But even then, it's still it's really obscure ways of putting it there, so they shroud it really well.
Right. Yeah. Have you played that game, Squiggs? Infinite?
No, I have not. I've just seen Dustin stream it.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, you called that the major.
Yeah, it was
the major plot points. I had probably about 3/4 of the way through.
Well, I called the first one that I called was
pretty good,
pretty early on.
Yeah,
and then probably the last big one I probably picked up on the last quarter of the game. Yeah, like you said.
You're right. Yeah, 3/4 of the way through.
Pretty much at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But if I had best story, this one's kind of difficult because I'm really partial to the Metal Gear series. Metal Gear series was pretty solid. It's really kind of convoluted, but if you know what's going on, I feel like it's just it's a story that you can get invested in. So I like that a lot. It really fell off with Metal Gear Solid 5. I think that was probably one of the most, for me, it was the most disappointing game that I think I've ever played in my life, to be honest. But up to that point, even if you factor in the twist that is Metal Gear Solid 5, you have a pretty solid story there and a lot of great storytelling mechanics from Mr. Kojima and the crowd over there. But other than that, I would say a more concise story that also kind of convoluted, but you not nearly as crazy as Metal Gear Solid. Dark Souls. Dark Souls has a so fucking rich
not
lore.
Convoluted, and then you hit me with Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's but like you said, there's a story that you can understand at the forefront, but to get the most out of that game, definitely have to dive deeper into the lore. And once you start diving deeper into the lore, it is crazy the thought that goes into that game and how much you really, unless you're focusing your full attention on it, it's crazy how much you miss. But there's
how interconnected everything is.
Yeah. But no, that game has a phenomenal story to go with it, and just really rich lore that's available to you via literally every item in the game. Every item in the game serves a purpose, and it's kind of crazy to see that. Well, mostly every item in the game. So, that's what I would probably have to say. And I'm also, I don't know if you guys would be able to come up with an answer, just right off the top of your head. What about worst story you've ever played?
Fuck.
Anything?
Let me pull up my Steam list real quick.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know there's something that
Yeah.
You saying that, I know there's something I have declared the worst in my mind.
Yeah.
But I've exiled it because I don't want to think about it anymore. And it's just going to piss me off if I do.
It's funny because a part of it, I feel that way about the Bioshock Infinite DLC, Burial Sea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Try and forget about that
play.
entirely, but I don't know.
Yeah.
If you had asked me that question, I could go into my Steam library or go into the my living room and look at all the games that we have and be like, yeah, that's it.
That's right.
But
I forget that you actually live in a house with a living room and a game wall or something.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, what's something that comes to mind directly? Evil Within.
Evil Within.
Yeah.
Which one was that one?
Yeah, you play the game for entirely way too long, just for nothing to happen, really.
Did you play the second one? You played the second one, right?
Oh God, no. I know a lot of people said that they wanted the second one was better, but unless I'm paid to play that game, I don't think I'd fucking buy it. I hated Evil Within 1 that much. It was really
Jesus Christ.
I was waiting for some kind of twist that catch me off guard or something to make it all make sense, but it was, I don't know. It was kind of, I know there's probably people out there like, oh, you're too dumb to realize what was going on. No, the game was just bad. Bad. I hated the story in that game.
So, I don't know if this is necessarily the worst or what? What my deal is with this?
But it's up there.
No, not even that. What are your thoughts on Portal? What is the story for Portal? And we might be getting into some spoilers here, but does Portal have a story?
I'm biased on my opinion of Portal because I, not being a hardcore fan of Portal, but I love stories kind of similar to Dark Souls. It's in a way, it's
it's not told.
You have a story, but there are definitely lots to explore and lots of things to kind of analyze that you can, and there's some stuff that you can find your own meaning in, that's really open-ended kind of thing, right. And there's a lot of connections that you can draw, and there's definitely information in the game that allows you to craft a storyline to it. But I think once again, it gives you enough to enjoy what is there,
right. Well, if you think about it, in Portal, you wake up and you pick up a portal gun, and then what?
I think I'm the one here that's most recently played the original Portal, right? I played it in January or February.
Oh, this year?
In January?
Yeah.
I mean, I played it in a weekend. I played both in a weekend.
Yeah, you had to, most recent because I streamed it last year.
Yeah. No, I played it after that. You wake up in the testing facility. I can't remember exactly why, what's going on. They're just testing you, and
right. But you don't know.
You get the gun and you train through it, and it took 2 hours to finish.
It's not a long game.
Really short,
but it's good. It's good, yeah.
But if you think about it, there's no real story. There's not an end goal necessarily. Well, but when you get to the end, it's clear. It's perfectly clear what the end goal is when you get to the end. But it doesn't have a story.
Well, no, I feel like it
has a universe.
Oh, I feel like because early on you kind of realize that. Okay, well, it's depending on interpretations, kind of thing, because you can pick up as the player that there's malicious intent with what's going on when you start kind of going against the rules of the test area, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I feel like it becomes apparent early on that your goal is to escape. I feel like because I guess the biggest thing with a story is
Is that necessarily true though? Sorry.
From what I remember, I feel like it is because
you might get that because it's such a short game. I think about halfway through, it's apparent that you need to escape, which is only an hour. Actually, it's only an hour. Yeah.
I will say that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh my God, what's the robot's name? GLaDOS. Thank you. Has just the happy condescending voice. And so you start to like GLaDOS because it's a good character, but you also don't like GLaDOS because she's against you And that's pretty obvious, I think.
Well, that's what because something that the thing about Portal though is you don't really have choice. Like there's not.
Yeah. Right. It's you keep testing or don't.
Because
or you don't advance the plot.
The game forces you into the goal being to escape.
I don't think it does. I think it forces you into the goal being test until the end of time. But eventually you make your way to an end, a possible end. But I mean, like, and at that point, you understand that the goal is to escape.
Well, I feel like
at the end,
because if you don't understand that until then, I feel like the testing was then like interpreting it. I feel like at that point, the testing would be designed to make the test subject want to escape. You know, like they're like, does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I feel like at that point that if you didn't halfway through say, oh, I want to escape this area, then at that point the testing's like, let's see how far we can push them before they want to escape. Like we want the test subject to escape, right? That's like then you're still kind of then it goes in with the line of like test. But I think something else that I would rather I keep thinking of Stanley's Parable is what I think of with this. Like that's a game that has a story that you have the choice of ending it, you know, like that's where it gets wild because like in Portal, like you said, and like there's no point at which you can just rather than just stopping and stop playing the game entirely, you have to escape in the end. Stanley's Parable though, you can it's like, oh, this is where the end is, you can end it and then that's your ending and you could never play the game again if you wanted to.
Yep.
So it's like
I still haven't played that game. I know that there's like a million different ways that game can go.
Have either of you played that game?
No.
I've seen it.
I've seen so yeah.
Sure.
I've also seen someone else play it.
But
like how much of it have you seen?
You watch one or two playthroughs and you're just like, oh shit, that's totally different. What?
Stanley's Parable is probably one of the most fascinating games I've ever played. Honestly.
Yeah. It's incredibly. It's psychological horror.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that one's all about Stanley's Parable is all about choice, right?
Yeah, because it's
choose to listen to the narrator, or choose your own path.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. It's really a unique game, and I like when we talk about Portal and the things that it does, kind of more of these open-ended stories. Like that game has it gives you the open-ended, it gives you the here's the beaten path, follow it. Like there's several ways to go about it, and it's.
I don't actually know if I've ever seen that game played where you strictly follow the narrator.
Well, it just loops, right? If you do,
does it? I don't know.
I can't. I don't remember. Like
I thought it was like if you only followed the narrator just goes throughout the regular like routine, and you just keep doing the same day. Basically,
because
until you make a difference. Until you make a change.
That likely is what it is because it's another one of those that if you only play it X, Y, and Z way, you're
not gonna get the
because there's more to it. There's other endings and there's more to the story. And if you accept what you get out of the game, you're not going to understand what's going on, like the actual situation. Like I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it, but I would imagine that most people have seen something about it, like. If you haven't seen the true endings of the game or those areas of the game, you just kind of like I think it's more interesting knowing what it's all about, and then knowing that there are people that likely played it like 3 times
just
through,
one time,
and they were like, yeah, it's nothing yet, and then you kind of see the value that exists in
another run through.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Like I guess now we're on these. There's so many games that are like this that are like kind of reminding me, like Super Hot. You guys
never played Super Hot?
Yeah, I've seen it. Seen it.
It's another one you guys got to go through. It's another one of those. It's like really stories there, but
it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Like
I remember watching that on your YouTube channel, Dustin.
It genuinely made me feel uncomfortable playing it, like by myself late at night. Made me uncomfortable.
Oh,
because of the story?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well. But, speaking of escaping places, all of us recently had spring break.
Yep.
Just a fucking quick segue.
No, yeah, I know, because like as soon as you guys said that, I was like, no one's played Super Hot. Fuck. All right. But get away from that. Yeah,
but Brian, where'd you go?
I went to Arizona.
Grand Canyon.
So Spring break. What the hell did I do? So I played D&D on Saturday. The Saturday, as I usually do on Saturdays. Then on Sunday, I drove down to San Antonio, and I hiked, actually. That Sunday, I went to Government Canyon, Government Canyon State National Area outside San Antonio, and it was beautiful. They have dinosaur footprints and stuff that you can see in the rock, and it's incredible. I highly recommend that hike. It's a good one. It's not too long. I think we hiked about 6.25 miles, I think was the number. And then we flew out of San Antonio on Monday afternoon. We flew out at 12:30 or 1 o'clock, and then we landed at 1 o'clock or 1:30. You know, yeah. we landed 30 minutes later because of the time change. That was interesting. Another thing that happened on that airplane, and I don't know how to tell this story because I've never told this story, so like I'm just gonna chronologically. Let's do this chronologically.
Just shit your pants on the airplane.
Almost. No, so we're sitting on the tarmac in SAT, and there's a woman on the airplane who had never flown before with her 9-year-old son.
Oh, so this is like a
yeah.
This is a person. This is an adult.
Yeah, yeah. This is well, kind of, but she looked kind of young. Not gonna lie, but 9-year-old son,
18
you can't
to 25.
be that young, right?
Okay.
What?
Like 18 to 25.
Probably older than that. Probably the next age group.
18 to 30.
At any rate, you've got a full-grown adult who's never flown before, and with her 9-year-old son, and the plane is full at this point. There's like 2 or 3 open seats, and none of them are adjacent to each other. So this woman couldn't sit next to her son. So the flight attendants get on the radio, and they're like, "Hey, there's a woman on board who's never flown before, and she'd like to sit next to her son. If you're sitting near an open seat, if you would be so kind as to move to like the exit row, because there's a single open seat there, yeah. So you can have 2 adjacent. Yeah, if somebody would do that, that'd be great. We'll buy you a drink." And so somebody near me, like the next row over and one back, they like, "Yeah, I can move. It's no big deal." And it was like a couple, like a more elderly husband and wife, and they were like, "Yeah, I can do this. It's fine, no problem." And they split up, and he went to the exit row or whatever, and then this woman and a kid sit down, or like they're moving in and sitting down, and then this woman asks the flight attendant, she says, "And how does this get me sitting next to my son?" And I stopped for a second. I'm like, "What? Is that kid not your son?" And then she's like, "This kid isn't my son." It was just some random fucking kid that fits the profile, was also looking for a seat, but like it was so fucking stupid.
I don't even.
It was a woman, a random kid, and then the woman's 9-year-old son was sitting elsewhere, like in the exit row or whatever. And
wait, how do you know he was 9 to begin with?
Because that was stated.
Oh, okay. That's what
Sorry,
I was saying 18 earlier because I just felt like you were talking about just like you said 9, like just like young kid generalizing, but I was like,
no, even like I'm pretty sure it was a 9-year-old.
Obviously, she didn't have a kid when she was fucking 11, but
6.
Anyways,
yeah.
But anyways,
at any rate, this
what airline did you fly?
Southwest.
Oh.
So they were pretty good about it. They were like, "Oh," but you could see the look on this flight attendant's face and went, "Oh."
That sucks. They did all that work just to kind of.
Yeah, and then they shuffled the kid around, and the mother son ended up sitting together. Yay! Congratulations. We're up in the air, 40,000 feet.
Then they forgot flying. The other kid. They just told him to get off the plane. We'll find you another plane.
I got a fucking clue. That kid, not a fucking clue what happened to him.
Shoved him in the carry-on, like
in the cargo
overhead
hold.
baggage.
Yeah. But we're like halfway through the plane journey, and they come on the intercom. Well, and they announce what had happened at the start of the flight. Well, sorry, we had the delay when we were boarding and doing all this and that. We had a woman who wanted to sit next to her 9-year-old son, and just made that public, which I questioned a little bit. Like, do you really want to give up this woman's? Well,
it's like they're just trying to get sympathy for people to fucking move.
absolutely. All the confusion and stuff that makes sense, but and then she says, "But we have something else. That kid, it's his birthday today." So they were like, if everybody would be so kind as to push your light, turn your light on, as this kid's birthday candles, and we'll all sing happy birthday. So the whole fucking airplane sang.
You have a rave for this 9-year-old.
That's what I was thinking too.
So they dimmed the lights in the
joke's on you. You're on Soul Plane. These are colored lights.
We got the RGBs up in this bitch. We all sang happy birthday for this kid, and then that kid got fucking like a fly voucher. That kid got like a free flight or some shit.
And then his fucking mom has to figure out how they're gonna fly with him because he.
For
real.
real.
Yeah, you have a free voucher to fly anywhere, except I can't afford to fly.
Maybe that's what happened, and that's how they got mixed up.
Oh yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, well, shit. Yeah.
It's like free voucher. It's like fucking. I can't pick my seat with this voucher. Not this again. This happened to me with 8.
And might actually could preface that there's no assigned seating on Southwest.
Oh,
if you've never flown Southwest, there's no assigned seating, so that's why this was a problem.
Yeah.
But the rest of the flight, it was fine. Maybe a little turbulence here and there. Coming in to Arizona, Phoenix Airport, some of the most gorgeous mountains I've ever seen in my life.
Especially, leaving San Antonio.
Yeah. I've never seen mountains that gorgeous before. And I know Squiggs is sitting here like, yeah, whatever, bitch. I live
open my window and show you guys.
Mountain.
But you feel like a bubble. You're in a bubble while you're there.
Yeah.
You feel just enclosed by mountains because
you look one direction, there's the most beautiful mountain you've ever seen in your life. You look 90 degrees, the most beautiful mountain you've ever seen in your life. You look the other way, it's fucking gorgeous.
But then by then the time that you've looked the third time, you've melted into the asphalt of the Arizona heat.
No, it did not get above 80.
That's incredible.
85. Let's say 85.
It was
fucking gorgeous.
When I visited Austin, Arizona, it was the hottest I've ever been. I'm telling you, like when we swam in his aunt's pool, that shit was boiling water. Like it didn't help. But
it's not fucking awful.
But then you went to the spring training camp and
so
baseball.
the next thing we did was we went to watch, I think it was the Cubs versus the Seattle Mariners at spring training baseball, for those that are not well versed. And I feel the need to explain this often. So what spring training is in the wintertime, the cities up north that have baseball teams, they can't play baseball because it's so fucking cold. And it's still cold in March. Well,
we're not going into another conversation about weather with you.
It's still cold in March, so you can't practice your baseball. So what they do is those cities up north come down to Arizona and Florida to just play some baseball during the spring to get there to knock the rust off and get ready for the regular season. So that's why we went. We went and saw a bunch of baseball games for that.
So, for a second, could you imagine that if they were just like in the north, they're like, yeah, it's too cold, we can't play baseball at all. No professional teams up here. Just like no baseball. Baseball's banned in the north. Like,
no baseball allowed.
It's too cold.
Yankees, get out. Cubs, leave.
Too cold. All right.
Yeah.
Not the right temperature. You can't play baseball outside when it's fucking 30 degrees.
It's illegal. It's 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Get them out.
Like, you over there hitting that ball with that fucking stick.
Game's canceled today. Why?
It's like put your hands up. Patrols.
The baseball police. Anyway, spring training.
But yeah, we my dad bought a signed baseball from a Hall of Famer, Ferguson Jenkins. I think that's
Mr. Jenkins.
Yes, sports ball and all that.
Greatest insert baseball position here. third baseman.
Yeah, third baseman. Yeah, not a fucking clue.
Pinch hitter? Like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
But no, he's pretty famous. Allegedly. Yeah. I don't play sports ball.
Take your word for it.
But he was fanboying. It was really funny to.
It sounds like an entirely made up name, but anyway.
It kind of does.
Frankie Jenkins.
Ferguson.
Yeah, Ferguson. Ferguson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that even right? I don't even know if that's right. And if that's not, I'm be so pissed. But anyway, it was really fun to watch my dad, my dad, this man who I've sort of looked up to and who I've grown up with, fanboy.
Yeah. Over a baseball player. That'd be pretty cool.
Over a baseball player, yeah. Yeah, that was fun. And then, so that's Monday. That all happened on Monday.
Jesus Christ.
That was Monday.
We have a 3-hour podcast, guys.
I'm ready.
I'll try to. The
Brian's
next couple are pretty
break.
quick. Yeah, the next couple are pretty quick. We decide in advance to take a day to go to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, that's cute. You wore your little hat today for it.
I did, yeah. And driving to the Grand Canyon was fucking incredible. It's about a 3.5 hour drive from where we were staying to the Grand Canyon. But again, it's you look ahead and it's the most beautiful mountain you've ever seen in your life. You look to the left, that's my right, but whatever. you look over that way, and it's the most beautiful, picturesque desert you've ever seen. And it was so good. Just the drive even, and my hair's all fucked up.
You have a hat on.
I don't really. Yeah,
so
I know, but it's like.
I'm sure your hat's fucked up. So you're wearing a hat.
Fuck.
It's just a phase, Mom.
Just a phase.
I don't know where to go with this, but so we're at the Grand Canyon now. Okay, I've decided we're at the Grand Canyon. That shit is 7,000 feet above sea level. And I don't know about y'all, but San Antonio, College Station, like Texas, is like 20 feet above sea level. It's like, I think it's like 300. But that was elevation. I was at an elevation.
That was elevation.
Welcome to where I lived for the first 14 years of my life.
We had some water bottles, right? And we had drank them, and I sealed off the lid, and I threw it in the back. And every once in a while, driving up these mountains, we hear as the water bottle's expanding. Because it's pressurized at 1,000 feet. And we're suddenly at 7,000 feet. So this...
I can just see...
It's like
Brian's in
inflating.
the car just fucking jerking off his scientific wiener right now. Like,
I really was! I was like, I really wish I hadn't thrown that in the back so I could watch it.
Yeah. Dad, turn around. Drink this. Drink it.
No, honestly, I don't know where I put them or if I still have them even, but I took water bottles and I sealed them at the top of the Grand Canyon, and then I flew them back, so now they're like all crunched up.
Jesus.
Anyway, so we go to the Grand Canyon. It's the most breathtaking thing I've ever seen in my life. It's a big fucking hole in the ground. We drive in. It takes like 10 hours because...
It's the greatest thing I've seen in my life. It's a hole.
That's exactly... Like, ugliest piece of shit hole I've ever seen. Greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's not... If you look... So you basically what you do is you drive up, you park, and you walk 10 feet, and there's a big fucking hole in the ground. That's all. That's what it is. It's not the picturesque like helicopter tour shit. No, you walk up, it's a big fucking hole in the ground.
You should never work in like advertising because I right now definitely never want to go to the Grand Canyon. It's
take this
4-hour drive to just look down 7,000 feet and get back in your car and go back home.
Yeah, but I ended up hiking along the rim trail, which, as you would imagine, goes around the rim, and just taking pictures along the way. I saw elk. There was a herd of deer, like, within spitting distance. Like, I could have spit and hit one of these deer.
That's what spitting distance means.
Glad that you could explain the thing that explained exactly the distance between you and the deer. Exactly 10 feet away. That's like if you laid down 10 rulers next to each other. Giant hole like, yeah, 10 actual rulers. If you laid them down, that's how close they were. 10 feet.
Jesus Christ, I hate you guys. I'm done.
It's a rock throws away. Yeah, if you picked up a rock,
if you picked up a rock and then threw it,
hit the building.
You hit him.
rock throw away. Oh, man, Brian, what you have a way with words.
I'm an engineer, not a word guy.
Oh,
anyway, it's also like 1,000,000 degrees.
Big fucking hole in the ground, right?
So, yeah, big fucking hole in the ground. I'm walking along the trail, and then I'm like, I look at some of these maps and shit. I'm just like, I need to go down the Bright Angel Trail. Oh, and I actually have a coin. I have show and tell as well.
What do you use the coin for?
I picked it up at the gift store.
So you can measure a coin's throw.
Okay,
yes, exactly one coin's throw. No, it's like a very shiny.
Yeah.
You can't even read that.
Can I buy anything with it?
No.
It's worth not shit.
In fact, you spend $5 on this shit, but it's got a quote on the back.
That's pretty cool though. Actually, little souvenir.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this because it reminds me of something else I have to do. I'm gonna get there. Keep that in mind.
The build up to the story.
I decide to hike down the Bright Angel Trail. I'm going to get through this fucking story.
3,000 feet up on this build up right now, working our way up to the giant hole in the ground.
We're going up to 7,000. Yeah. Just hold on.
No, okay, so we're legit. We're at 7,000 feet right now. I hike down probably 1,000 feet in 1.5 miles.
Oh,
I think that's the number.
It's actually pretty crazy. It's not like a.
Yeah, no, it was stairs at some points. Yeah. Because it's like level ground and then stairs. Yeah. Like, it was the most rigorous hike I'd ever done, and it was 1.5 miles. It was 3 miles there and back. Like, it was the most rigorous hike I've ever done in my life. But some of the views from inside the canyon as the sun was about to set, like, because it gets dark where you're at, because the sun is set like 30 minutes ago, but over there, you know, on the other side of this big fucking hole in the ground, it's still pretty sunny. Most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I get down there, I take a piss, and then I hike back up, and just spectacular. Some of the greatest people you'll ever meet as well. They're just like, you know, you pass them, and then they pass you on the way back up because you're exhausted as shit. But like, yeah, and absolutely breathtaking in every sense of the word. No. I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
The coin,
other than it's absolutely breathtaking.
Wrap it up with the coin.
Wrapping it up with the coin. It says the Bright Angel Trailhead elevation is 6,860 feet, and the rim to rim hike is 23.5 miles long.
Easy.
And that's what I want. I want to do the rim to rim trail. That is intense. You start on the south rim, you hike down, you camp, or I would camp. You hike down, you cross the river, and then you hike up the north rim.
It'd be pretty nuts. That'd actually be really fun to do, honestly, especially if there's camping spots out there.
I think there is, but it requires a permit to camp. But no, I as soon as I saw that rim to rim was a thing, I was like, yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah,
I've got to do that.
It's a definite bucket list thing.
But. Sorry, talking about like
podcasts are hard.
Yeah, they are. Talking about the mountain thing or the trail. Do you guys know what the Pacific Coast Trail is?
Nope. I feel like I'm about to learn though.
I think I've heard about that actually.
Okay, it's it's this trail that goes through California, Oregon, and Washington. That goes from Mexico. Like you start in Mexico and you hike all the way up to Canada, to the United States.
God.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts. How long is that? Like.
Trying to figure out the distances right now.
2,650 miles.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! What would like? What is Google walking distance on that? if you have it up.
2,650 miles.
No, I said distance. Time. Sorry.
I don't know.
I don't know if it'll.
But yeah, it's probably just because I live in California and I know about it. But yeah, I hear people walking it all the time.
I don't know.
A lot of people who love hiking and mountaineering love doing that trail, or like attempting it.
Like you'd have to, like.
Yeah, there's people.
No, there's like
take
the Appalachian Trail.
You have to take off like a month of work for that. Like.
Yeah, no, people do. Yeah.
I would imagine that it's fucking. I don't even know have a good guess for it. 15 plus days, like 2 weeks
at least.
At least.
There's no way.
Like, I don't know. I feel like that's cutting it short.
But yeah, so after the Grand Canyon, we drive back, watch 2 more baseball games. He meets two new famous people, and fanboys twice again. And then we fly out on Thursday, I think? Yeah, Thursday at like 8 a.m. And then I hang out with you guys, Dustin and Co.
Yeah.
And that was my
I don't even
break,
get named in this. Wow.
No, fuck you, Squiggs. You weren't even there.
How about you, Squiggs? Do your spring break?
I sat down and I edited a video.
Sat down and edited. Nice.
No. I had tennis for the first part of my spring break because that doesn't get spring break because the other schools in our division,
that makes sense.
In our league don't get spring break the same time as us, so they don't plan around it.
Yeah.
So did that until
That's
Tuesday.
Really weird that you guys don't have like the same spring break around the general area. Yeah.
Then Wednesday and Thursday we finished our latest LinO PUBG Diaries video.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you go up to the mountains though for a little bit?
Yes, I did. Yeah, went up there, and I think that was Monday of spring break. Yeah, we went up to where I used to visit. Took my girlfriend, showed her around, showed her the park I grew up in, because my dad was a park ranger, cool, so we lived on the park.
I did not know that. We were talking about this earlier. You grew up in a fucking state park.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a state park. I thought it was.
I don't know. If
you said like mountains.
It's been a while since I've like.
It might be like a state national area or something. But
had she ever been before?
No, yeah. The weird thing is her family goes and like hikes and goes places all the time. She was there multiple times, like when I was living there as a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty funny. But yeah, you didn't know her at the time.
She saw your house multiple times.
Yeah, she probably saw me like playing out in the yard while she was like drove past, because it was my house and like the front yard was right next to where people would come into the park.
Yeah.
So.
Anything else?
What is that called? What is that called, Squiggs? The place where people come into the park? Is that called
entrance?
Entrance?
Hey, you have no room to talk right now.
All right, yeah. So he's trying to get me to do what he does. The entrance, where people like drive into the park and like with their vehicles.
The entrance, like where the people come in. Yeah.
That was the greatest. Spitting distance. I could spit on these deer. What? Thank you for that revelation. That fucking.
I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I brought that up.
No, but yeah, we went up there. It had recently snowed a little bit, so we went up, played in the snow for a bit. Yeah. It was nice.
Anything else? Any other highlights?
Of spring break, not really. I mean, just getting the video out, because that was the first video I've edited in a while, and first kind of proud of it. Yeah.
First edit, it's a thing. So, small clap, round of applause, Mr. Higgins. My spring break.
What about you?
Yeah. Pretty. I don't know. It was it's all over the place. There was a lot going down, kind of personally, in my spring break, and it was definitely a much needed break from everything. Like trying to recalibrate and just.
What's a break though?
What do you mean? The times when you have 7 days off of school, I know what you're over spring break,
yeah,
you don't have any classes for 7 days.
I love you, Brian.
5 days, yeah.
No, I got that one. I didn't think it was
spring break. It usually comes in spring, around that time. when the flowers start blooming and shit. And yeah. But it was a much needed just break from everything, just school piling up and just life. So it was nice to. I don't want to say it was nice. It was like it was a rough spring break. Honestly, it was just like it was time to recalibrate and get my life back together because everything felt like it was in shambles and
That's true, but like coming out of it, I definitely feel like, I mean, I haven't talked to you a whole lot since spring break, but I definitely feel like you're in a better spot now. So whatever you did worked, I think.
Somewhat therapeutic, I guess it could be. It was just like having the time to think to myself and not have to worry about schoolwork, piling up. So that was a big thing. But didn't do anything too crazy. Took a trip to Austin. Walked around St. Ed's campus. There's a beautiful campus out there. Got a beautiful shot of the Austin city skyline kind of thing, city line, whatever you're going to call it. But went around Austin, kind of ate out by the lake. That was really nice. Nothing too big. Just kind of hung out with friends. I mean, we dropped Austin off right at what's happening over here?
Nothing. Something we were talking about earlier.
We dropped Austin off at the airport. The weekend we were going into. Jesus, you guys.
I need a minute.
It's Squiggs' fault. It's Squiggs' fault.
It really is.
But
okay.
No, we dropped Austin off at the beginning of our spring break, and then just kind of that was kind of bittersweet. Thing, dropping him off at the airport.
Oh, it was nice seeing him again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was just, it kind of sucked that when I had my free time from
that it didn't line up.
Yeah. So yeah, but he ended up extending his stay a little bit, so that was really nice. But yeah, that was all I really did. Kind of went to Austin, I guess, as a highlight, and I hung out with friends the entire time. Really, that was pretty nice. It was either Vincent, Brian, friends from school. So any combination
friends
of that.
From school.
Yeah. Friends from school. So, been really nice. You guys are killing me.
We'll tell you after. It's not. We'll tell you.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
I feel so left out of my own life right now. It's incredible. It's like you guys have.
It's something you taught us about already. It's something you've already taught us about.
Taught you about.
Damn. Yes. We'll talk about this afterwards. But Brian did something crazy last night. Was it?
Oh yeah.
Power didn't I? So last night I got pretty fucked up.
That's how all good stories start.
No, so it was
like last night, is in like yesterday.
Yes, exactly.
Like 10 p.m. or so, or
a little later than that. We started at 11.
Oh, okay, like the night. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, like in the evening. Okay. After the evening, so it was nighttime.
Moon is out. Okay.
No one's laughing anymore now.
Cool. No, I don't know why we still do this.
I fucking hate you guys.
So we had planned.
No one's laughing. Like you, Squiggs.
I'm trying to tell a story here, boys.
Go for it, go. All right.
So we had planned what's known as a ring dunk. So in Texas A&M, when you get your Aggie ring, do you know what the fuck a ring dunk is, Dustin?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what a ring dunk is, Squiggs?
Yeah.
No, I was laughing because Squiggs was trying not to laugh. So
yeah, I'm
explain
listening.
Ring dunk,
I'm
because I only know what a ring dunk is because of your ring dunk.
Like, you're not my ring dunk.
I know, but you told me about it.
Brian, this is something that you can go into and explain what a ring dunk is. Because
okay, thank you for your permission. I will now proceed to explain what a ring dunk is, and then, if I may, I will explain what a power hour is.
Yes.
So, we had planned a ring dunk, which at Texas A&M, when you get your class ring, your Aggie ring, which I am not wearing right now because I'm a piece of shit, you put it into a big ass pitcher of 5 beers and drink it. Drink the whole fucking thing instantly. So we had set that up, and there was like a big old party. I think 4 or 5 people were dunking. I knew 2 of the guys. It was really cool. The guy, he's gluten free because he's got the disease or whatever. Yeah. I don't even know, but he's
got the disease.
He's got the disease.
Okay. All right.
I couldn't remember the name of it. But anyway, he fucking killed it. He nails this thing in like 18 seconds, which was insane. 5 beers in 18 seconds. Killed it. And then a friend of mine walks up to me like during this thing, and he's just like, "Hey man, are you going out partying afterwards, or did you want to do a power hour?" And I was like, "Let me do a power hour. What the fuck's a power hour?" I think that's like more or less how it went down. So he explains it to me, and this is what he says. He says, "You take a shot of beer every minute for an hour." Which that doesn't sound too exciting, but when you're like 15 minutes in and you've had a beer or two and they come quick and it's just like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm still feeling pretty all right." And you're 20 or 30 minutes in and then you're starting to devolve.
A really tedious hour though. It's like by the time you pour your shot, it's like your minute's up.
Well, there was like 7 or 8 people there. And 3 of them finished. There were 4 of them finished. Like,
oh, so people when were people tapping out?
One girl who like doesn't ever get drunk tapped out at like 20 minutes, I think. And then another girl was maybe 30 or 40 minutes was out. What it devolved into for me was kill a 6-pack in an hour, because that was just more feasible than drinking 7.5 beers.
Yeah,
you know. But no, yeah, it was absolutely insane, and I highly recommend it.
How much do you remember?
6-pack. Oh, all of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wasn't too fucked up, but I ended up staying the night on his couch.
Didn't even get arrested.
Didn't even get arrested. That's a bonus.
Not to the story. Not to the story.
But yeah,
think of the podcast, damn it.
Yeah. So I also learned what a vape is.
Learned what a vape is.
What is a vape? But yeah, that's
welcome to 2014. Like,
shit. I'm back in time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was my life. That is my life. I participated in a power hour, which I would highly recommend.
Your life now consists of vapes and power hours.
Vapes and power. Every hour is a power hour. Let's go.
I'll try something like that after I turn 21.
I'm making like really weird noises now. It's so weird.
What the fuck? What are you doing?
I have an alien hatching out of my throat, I guess.
Do you really?
I guess. I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know.
You should keep him.
Yeah, I should. I would.
Keep him in a fish tank.
I would keep a alien that I birthed from my body. Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's gonna keep you. So.
That's terrifying. Terrifying.
Have you fucking seen Alien?
But we are coming up on our hour of podcast.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to slam in here?
Can I
slam that motherfucking like button?
I actually had a conversation with someone about that and how like instantly it bothers me too when you start a video and then like, don't forget to subscribe. Can I get the content first before I get this shit?
Yeah, before you get accosted by violence.
Yeah, because as soon as I start hearing that stuff, I just kind of want to move my mouse up and click away. It's like you're whoring a little too early.
That being said, I have no qualms about whoring, especially at the end of this podcast. Be sure to follow us. Give us the old the looky look.
The looky look.
Give us the old looky look. That's when you open your eyes and you look with the look.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No one's laughing anymore, Brian.
With the look.
We're on the Discord. We're on the Facebooks, Twitters, Instagrams. Totally follow us.
Yeah.
What else? Give us tips, please. At the beginning of every podcast, we've been doing the questions from the audience. What do you want to hear us talk about? Yeah. Please tell us. Leave it in the comments. Hit us up on any of the 4 social media I mentioned. Just get it out there.
Yeah, if you want to say anything to us, we might start reading off some comments, things directed at us, and anything you want to hear us talk about, whether it's, or if you need advice, happy to give advice. Yeah.
Life advice, tips, hot tips.
I'd like to start
if you want to remain an avocado,
yeah.
Yes, if you want to remain an avocado or an anemone, just DM us. And let us know.
Yeah. We'll have to set something up so people can ask anonymous questions. We'll have to look into that.
We don't promise that it'll be good advice, but email. Some.
Well, email people have to.
We will give advice. It will not be good.
Yeah. We give good advice.
Necessarily.
great advice. All the time. But yeah, is that any Squiggs? Any last minute?
Can I tell the parking lot story?
Yes, you can.
Oh, we're not even done with the content.
Not even done with the podcast.
I had a little bit of trouble with my car recently. It wasn't me, but went to the store.
It wasn't me,
as Shaggy said.
Yeah. Went to the store. Did my normal stuff, grab some stuff, paid, got out, went to the car, put the stuff in the car, got in the car, backed out. And so the parking lot I'm in is just like a normal parking lot, like cars backed out, like the backs of them facing each other, basically. You know what? I'm trying. You're laughing right now. I'm trying to tell you exactly how normal this parking lot is.
It's a horizontal parking lot.
Like I'm doing
it's
what
not
Ryan
angled
does
spaces
for a reason right now.
It's not angled spaces.
No, not angled spaces. The cars are pointed
spaces.
at each other.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Like a parking lot.
Yes, like a normal parking lot.
On the same page.
Yes.
Got it.
I back out, and as I'm putting the car into drive, and then put it in drive, look forward, notice something moving out of the left corner of my eye. Look over, dink. Some bitch.
He said,
I backed up. Yeah, I backed up. No one had moved. She backs up straight into me. As it's like the two cars that are across from each other. I back up, turn. She backs up straight into me.
Okay.
Wait, so she's not turning?
No, she backed up and started to turn as she was backing up because that's how you back up. But yeah, she backed straight into me. I don't know. Somehow she didn't hit me, or I'm sorry. Somehow she missed me when she was backing up. She misseen me. Yeah, she put a good dent in my door.
Well, but no, she just wasn't fucking paying attention.
Yeah, she gets out. I saw her boyfriend or whatever in the store. He wife beater may have just gone out of prison type.
Fuck.
God. I know this is going.
She gets out of the car, gets up to my window before I can really even react. She goes, "I'm so sorry." She's very apologetic and everything.
Okay.
Pretty nice person, honestly. But it's just the whole situation made me angry. First thing she says to me is, "I'm sorry." Next thing she says is, "I don't have insurance." So
I
that's
could have. Yeah, that was.
And then she finishes. That's not the end of the sentence. She finishes with "or a driver's license." Yeah.
What?
Okay. I'd have been like, "That sucks."
Give me that credit card then.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
here's my Venmo, and if you don't want to go to jail,
fucking bitch, dude.
This would have turned into a blackmailing really quickly.
God. Yeah. So
how does that...
I was like, fuck. Pulled back into my space. Got our license plate because I was like, I have an inkling that they're gonna try and book it right now.
Yeah.
Luckily they didn't. Luckily we both
I'd have been
parked,
fucking crossing
so we
my
were
fingers.
out of the.
I was hoping that they would have.
No, I was just like, fuck. And then got our license plate. I was like, I can't really do anything here. What? If I can guarantee you, if I went after them for monetary payment or whatever.
Yeah.
It would take forever to get anything.
You probably wouldn't get anything.
Exactly.
Well, actually,
how does that get resolved? From what I understand, if you tell your insurance company that hey, they backed into me, and then
the insurance company would go after them. Yeah.
Yeah, you just it would take a while, but you'd still get reparations.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they didn't have anything.
Well, then
they get it out of their fucking paycheck. That's where it comes from. They just pay out. They themselves pay out. That's what insurance is for. Insurance pays out instead of you, but in this case,
it would have taken a while and likely would have ended up with them thousands of
actually
dollars.
going to prisons. Yeah. And driving without a license, driving without insurance.
Yeah, no.
Those are against the law.
After you back into me, that would have been
well, I guess you're not going to drive anymore.
I literally at that point, if they put a dent in my car, the conversation is look, the best that I can do for you is I'm going to get this quoted, and you either send me the money or I call the cops.
Yeah, no, it is. That's exactly what I should have said. I got their license though. I'm not gonna like say anything about what happened afterwards because personal stuff. But got their license. I was just like in the moment. I didn't know what to do because it's just like someone just hit my car. I was like, what the fuck? They didn't have insurance or anything. I was like, I don't know. So I just went back home and then but that was pretty shitty.
So do you have a plan to get this resolved? Like how you gonna get that repaired? Are you gonna go after them? Like do you have
well, just starting off, I still need to like go into my luckily they only hit the back door of the driver's side. Like
I mean,
because you were angled, right? And then
but like what I'm saying is they only hit the back door. They could have like easily been like a foot on either side, like I don't know, up or down, but and like done damage to both doors or exactly. If I really wanted to, I could just take the door off and replace it, and the car wouldn't change. Like the car would look like it was normal. Yeah, luckily but you still need to like take off the inside of the door and pump it out and like bump out the dent that's in it. Yeah, but
that's just shitty, dude. I'm really interested to see where this goes. We'll need a status update in a couple weeks. See how that is. And God, it's so enraging.
Yeah.
That's when I was going to my brother's wedding. I think I told you guys about it, where some dude fucking parked the entire parking lot to himself. He parks right next to my car and door dings my car while I'm in the car.
While you're in the car?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Literally would have been manslaughter if it wasn't for the fact that it was my brother's wedding day. I'd have killed him. Because he just kind of ran away too. I was like, you motherfucker. Like, oh man. Like, trying to go over my best man speech, and you park in the one parking spot next to me, and you managed to door ding my car. Like, how stupid can you be?
So it was the driver, so they parked on your right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He just comes in and just dings the shit on my passenger door, and it's like, luckily it didn't do hard enough to like take any paint off or anything, but I'm just like, why did you pick this parking spot? And then how do you manage to do that? I know you see me in the car. And he's like, oh, sorry. And he walks away real quick. Like, yeah, that's good for your health. Like, like today's supposed to be a holy day. Brothers are getting married.
Almost kills a man.
That's my bad parking lot experience really quickly. Not nearly as bad as yours. But any other last comments?
I'd just like to say I also got door dinged, and I got a parking pass so I can park closer to campus.
Oh, and not get your car towed. Cool. All right.
Not get my car
Saw that coming.
No app needed. We haven't
told that story, so
no app needed. I thought we talked about it.
We did that on your live stream. That's what you told it.
Oh. LNO. Lost in orbit, folks. We have a story for you. But no, I think that's going to be it for today. Running about an hour. So, like I said, I don't think anybody else has anything to say, right?
No.
All right.
Do the things that I said to do a minute ago before Squiggs told
Yes, follow us on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can come into our Discord as well.
If you've made it this far, I don't know why you're not following.
Yeah, exactly. You should be following us on something. And this is something we probably should have mentioned early on. Podcasts are now coming out Wednesdays, not Mondays.
Oh yeah,
that's a pretty big thing that we were mentioning an hour into the podcast. Podcasts are now coming out Wednesdays. Other PUBG Diaries things are coming out every other week on Saturdays. So we had last Saturday.
One just came out. So
check out the Pump and Go. Go check out the newest PUBG Diaries video. But yeah, that's everything. As I said, reach out to us, send us your questions and whatnot, all of that jazz. But anyways, I've been Dustin.
I've been Brian.
And I think I'm Squiggs.
I've been every time.
As far as I can tell.
But thank you all for watching the LNO Podcast, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and a wonderful night.